What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we're actually taking a look at the ATST Raider that comes from The Mandalorian. That's set 75254. It has 540 pieces, 4 minifigs. It came out in 2019 and it retails for $50 US. Now I thought I'd bring out this review sooner rather than later just because it's supposed to retire very shortly. This has been out for over 2 years. So we're going to take a look at its positives and its negatives to see whether you should maybe pull the trigger on it or not. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start off the review, we'll actually take a look at the box art. And I have to say it actually looks quite accurate to what we see in the TV show. Yeah, just really good looking. This is a very unique ATST as well, just because it is kind of like worn. You can see it's beaten up. Obviously, the Imperials no longer own it, which is exactly what's happened. So I appreciate that, which we're going to get into. The differences between this ATST and others. There's the ATST on the side, and then on the back, it gets into some of its features, which we'll get into. It even sort of, well, not really, it can't really walk, but its head turns pretty good, which we'll see as we take a look at the set. Then on the side of the box, nothing too crazy. On the top, you can see the Mandalorian, and on the bottom, the glorious barcode. Overall though, pretty nice looking box art. I love the fact that they're putting all the sets on the side like this. If you have them all laid out, it looks really good together, like all the different boxes. But let's now take a look at the set. And now we've come to the actual model. So to begin with, let's give you guys a 360 view of the Raider. As you can see, there's a lot of detail going on. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stickers with this set. I do love the detail that they bring out. However, it was a pain. There's over 20 stickers in this set. So if you really don't like stickers, this probably isn't the set for you. I was absolutely shocked with how many that they included. But if you apply them relatively well, it is a very nice looking set, as you guys can see. Quite sizable too. Like, this set is a little over a foot tall, or about 1/3 of a meter in height. So nothing to scoff at. It's a pretty good looking display piece. Let's now break it down area by area. And the first area that we'll actually take a look at is the ATST's legs. Now you may be saying, why on earth would I care really what these legs have to offer? Well, the reason why is look how unique this is. Check out, they are stickers, but check out the detail on it. That is incredible. It just looks so well worn. Give you guys a little bit more view of the rest of it. Like, I mean, there's brown, there's gray. It looks like it's rusted. And for those of you that are wondering, there's no really mechanism to make this walk as much as it may be suggested in the box. The only thing you can do is kind of like move the legs, which you'd expect. And you can pretty well do that with every single ATST Legos ever made. So I don't know why they were making a big deal about the legs. But I will say that the detail on the legs is great. Now, moving to the top of the ATST, what I really liked about this is if you move the toggle back and forth, this Technic toggle, it literally rotates the ATST's head. So I'll give you guys a little bit more view of that straight on. If you want to move it side to side, you can. He's really good at saying no, I guess. Yeah, this just works really well. The other thing that's nice about it too is I don't generally care for spring-loaded shooters. They're better than stud shooters, but they're not my favorite thing. However, with this one, if you push this in, well, that was a bad representation. It knew it was on camera, so it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna work, forget that. Generally, this works really well though. Let me just, wow, okay, well maybe, okay, it's supposed to work like that. Don't know what that one's deal is. Maybe you'll have to take a look at the cannon a little bit more. But yeah, the spring-loaded shooter generally works really well on it. As you can see too, it has some more detail up towards the body. It just looks really worn and awesome. There's what it looks like head on. Let's take a little bit closer look at the cockpit. One other thing that I wanted to mention too is I love the fact that it has all these different little ropes on the side here. It just makes it look, it's well used. These guys are trying to get to the top of it with these ropes maybe it's wires that are hanging out, and it looks phenomenal. It looks, they didn't need to do that to add to, it being a well-worn ATST, but they did, and I just appreciate the detail, right? Now, getting into this head, the first thing you'll notice is it has a little hatch. You can actually very easily open it up, and you can actually place a minifigure in there, and he can fit in there very easily. Don't have to worry about him, getting involved with the pilot. But that's the one negative that I have with this set. So let's remove him. To get to the interior, you can open this, which is very nice. Big door, very easily gives you access to the interior. But this is my problem with it. Why couldn't they make this fit 2 minifigures? See how big that is? I know it might be a little tricky, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to mod this and make it fit 2 minifigures. Like, even without trying, you can see that there's almost 50% more room for another minifigure. Maybe raise the seat a little bit so it starts here, which I still think you'd be able to close the door. Overall though, it's not the end of the world. That's the interior, little area to keep the blaster, nice little seat, as much as I wish it fit 2 minifigures, and a little control console. It is a sticker piece, unfortunately, but regardless, still looks pretty good. I just wish that, again, this fit 2 minifigures. It's my only negative with this set. Besides that, I was quite impressed with it. I mean, just take a look at that. You can't get much better than the overall look of this ATST. I believe it is identical to the one that we get in Rogue One. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Again, it's just very worn. And that again is the main reason why I like this ATST. The design of it's great. And it is, again, very unique because it's just so beat the crap out of. Let's now take a look at the minifigures. And here we have the first 2 minifigures that are included. They are the Clatunian Raiders. And as you can see, they look very, very tribal. They got all kinds of crappy gear on, which I kind of like. I mean, it follows the theme of the ATST. A lot of detail, nice looking leg printing. They're ugly looking dudes too. I mean, yeah. I think they captured them quite well. There is no back face printing on them, but they do have back torso printing. I do appreciate the fact that they tried to differentiate them as much as they could as well. I think their face printing is pretty well identical, but their torso printing is a little bit different, which is nice. And their armor obviously is different. I mean, what is this? Did he find like a 1920s fighter pilot helmet, take off the goggles, and now he has the helmet? Just love them. They look very, they basically found whatever they could to defend themselves, put it on, and it really shows. Let's now take a look at the final 2 minifigures. And that is the Mandalorian and Cara Dune. A lot of detail. What's funny is this is actually the rare Mandalorian now, just because he's in the Razor Crest and in this ATST Raider, and I believe that's it. Whereas the Beskar plated Mandalorian is actually more common since he's in a lot more new sets in the 2021 wave. You guys a little bit view of their back torsos and whatnot. So continues. Nice detail, nice looking little cape, and Cara Dune does actually have 2 face printings. So she's angry on the one side, and then on the other side, she's much more happy. I thought it was funny that they kind of went with the same skin tone that the 501st Battle Pack has. I didn't remember her being this tan, but not a bad thing, just I thought that was a little different. And the Mandalorian unfortunately has no face printing, and none of the new ones I believe also have face printing for him either, even the ones in the Beskar armor. LEGO really needs to get on that, but back then they didn't actually know what he looked like. Now they do, so they should improve on that. Overall though, these are both very nice looking minifigures. I do believe that this set will appreciate quite a bit in time, just because the Cara Dune, with all the trouble that's going on in Lucasfilm, who knows how many more sets will include her. And then this Mandalorian again is only included in 2 sets. Love these minifigures, love these characters. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Personally, I really like this ATST, mainly because it's unique. It's very worn looking, which is what you want. That was one of the main reasons why I picked this one up, just because I have passed on previous ATSTs, but not on this one, just because they've never done this before, and I really appreciate it. You also get some awesome looking minifigures. You get the more rare Mandalorian. It's kind of funny how that's changed. Like the Beskar one used to be the sought after one. Now it's the older one that's actually more rare. The only negative I found with this ATST again was the fact that it only seats one minifigure. I mean, you look at the interior of, the cockpit, it's huge. They could very easily fit 2 minifigures in it. In fact, I may want to mod this one in the future. Besides that though, the set is perfect, very unique. It's an ATST, which is one of my favorite walkers. You get some awesome looking minifigures. All in all, I think it's worth the buy. I think it's very fair for 50 US. It's quite sizable as well. Like, as we said, it's probably a little over a foot tall, which is kind of crazy. But let me know what you guys think about this one, if you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they can maybe improve on it. I just think that it's a great display piece, a great play set. You get those awesome spring-loaded shooters, which actually work quite well with this. You can rotate the head, and it just looks really, really good. But yeah, that pretty well does the video. But if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future LEGO Star Wars reviews, comparisons that we do. We do one of them every Tuesday, and they're a lot of fun, especially when you look at awesome looking walkers like this. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.